RuneScape is changing. And I don't mean a new quest, I don't mean a new boss. Fundamental, disruptive changes. Jagex has dropped its first of many blogs in the road to restoration, and to say the community is split is an understatement. Reddit is on fire. But you know, when is it not? So, as with any nerf and change, people are upset with the nerfs to Thieving, removal of Viswax, and some others. The argument is that the game is getting slower, more restrictive, and less fun to play in 2026, but today I want to give you a different perspective. To me, these changes are genuinely the most important changes that the game has made in a long time. Let's start with the big one. Dailyscape, for years, logging into this game has felt like a list of chores needing to be done. People say that you can just not do them if you don't want to do them, but let's be real. There is a reason that Dailyscape was the single most contested and hated thing when everyone suddenly started trying out RuneScape 3 with leagues. The balance is so insanely off that the best way to play the game is to not play the game and just do dailies. To me, the beauty of RuneScape is setting yourself a goal and then working yourself back through all the goals you need to complete to get to that goal. Want to get Privdiness? Okay, I need to do these quests, I need to get these skills, I need to train these levels, I need to get these items to get where I want to go. The fun thing is making the plan. Making the road while you are going down that road. The problem with Dailyscape is that it completely interrupts this road. You can no longer plan for your own gameplay because you have to plan around the game letting you do these daily activities. Things like wildy events will disrupt you every single hour. You could theoretically ignore them, but let's be real, almost everyone will not give up on these insane boosts of progression. Removing all dailies, weeklies, events, and all this nonsense makes it very simple. You have your goals, you have the content that exists in the game, and you can choose and make your plans on how you achieve your goals. I'll be honest, removal of all dailies is going to reveal a few pain points in this game. I'm thinking mainly things like Herblore for Iron Man, and I'm sure each and every one of you will be able to think of some examples that will become very much more tedious with the removal of Dailyscape. However, let's be real, Dailyscape has always been a band-aid. It's never really fitted this game. It's a true mobile game FOMO mechanic, and if we as a community deem that some activities just are too boring, need to be skipped or need to be altered, let's just change that content directly. There is no point for skipping things. One of the main dailies I've seen people complain the most about is the Traveling Merchant, because it is a band-aid for so many other pieces of content. People don't want to do Livid Farm, they don't want to do Barbarian Assault, and guess what? I'm not defending those activities. If we as a community decide that this content is not worth doing in 2026, the change should not be an item that lets you skip them. The change should be removing their requirement from the completion escape, or giving their rewards, like the Livid Farm spells, from a different source. Or even something as simple as rebalancing the XP rates of those activities, making them feel worth doing. I also, from a content creator perspective, want to point out one change that I think has been overlooked by a lot of people, but I personally really loved to see, and that is the reintroduction of weapons, ores, bars from monster drops. For now, it is only happening for a few low-level monsters, but I am so happy about this, because the change of turning these drops into salvage and spirits and wood spirits make the game so much more stale and so much more boring. These drops were never the best source to get the items. In some rare cases that was the case, for some bosses, but most of these little slayer monsters, getting some ores, getting some weapons really didn't change the meta that much. But it left room for experimentation. It left room to carve your own path. Just look at all those cool chunk accounts and region-locked accounts that old school RuneScape has. None of those are possible because in RuneScape 3, to get a weapon upgrade, you need to go to the specific rock, get the smithing level, and create the item. There is no other path. Sometimes there's a shop, but that'll be it. In my opinion, it is better in this sandbox MMORPG to have a wide variety of options to get the items and upgrades and progression that you want. If you want to grind out a Slayer monster for 1,000 hours to be able to get some bars, to get some smithing levels, I think you should be able to do that. Now, let's discuss some of the controversial skilling rebalances. First of all, thieving. Thieving pickpocketing is getting a nerf that is essentially making it quite a bit less AFK. Currently, you can click an NPC, and for quite a lot of NPCs, you just wait for 20 minutes until you log out with no downsides. With the proposed changes, that will no longer be the case. You will eventually fail. The higher your level, the longer you will typically go for. Something people seem to be glossing over, this is actually an insane buff for earlier levels. In the game currently, you can only AFK thieving at the highest levels, but with these proposed changes, you will be able to AFK quite a bit early on, and your AFK will just get longer and longer. It will just no longer hit the 20-minute insane AFK that it is. AFK thieving at the high end is just way too overpowered right now. You get upwards of 1.2 to 1.5 million XP for 20-minute AFK, and on top of that, the items you get are also plenty good as well. Either the AFK time needs to go down, or the XP rate needs to get nerfed by at least half. And for the record, I'm not even against AFK methods. I'm AFKing all the time. Quite frankly, since 120 thieving came out, I've been thieving all the time. But here is a bit of a problem that I find. They released this amazingly fun new thieving method with heists, and I wanted to try that out to get 200 mil thieving. However, I accidentally went from 120 thieving to 200 mil, about 100 million XP, while only doing like 10 or 20 heists. I barely touched the active content because the AFK XP rates got me through the grind way too damn quickly. And I know it is tempting to want high XP rates, to want the progression to be as quick as possible, but just please internalize this. The second you reach your goal in this game, the game is over. There's a reason people burn out at maxcape. There's a reason people burn out at compcape. There's a reason people burn out once they reach their goals. This game is the road. It is not the destination.